shop from pt.1.com. You click /10 and today you can see that I have the Samsung Galaxy Tab here. This is the little review that I have. To use the Galaxy Tab, I've used several different versions, and this is just the happens to be the Verizon version here. So you can see at the top, you can see it's running Verizon's eVideo Rev A flavor of 3G. None of the Galaxy Tabs have 4G service built into them, so that means if you buy the T-Mobile version, you'll not get HSPA+, and if you buy the Sprint version, you won't be getting Wi-Fi. So on the front, from the top, you'll notice that there's a proximity sensor right here, the purple one, and a front-facing 1.3 megapixel camera. Below that is a 7-inch capacitive touchscreen with multi-touch gestures. The resolution, I know that the horizontal resolution is 900. I want to say the top to bottom resolution is I want to say that it's something over 1,000. I just really don't remember the specs, so it's over the MyTouch 4G here, but under the Samsung Galaxy or the iPad. So below that, you'll see 4 capacitive buttons: the home button, or the menu button, the home button, the back button, and the search button. Real quick, for size comparison, you can see the MyTouch 4G. I'll put it on top of the screen, and you can see that it's clearly not the size of the Galaxy Tab. The Galaxy Tab is a lot bigger, but it takes about 2 Galaxy Tabs to make up the size of an iPad. Real quick, for comparison, you can also see the Motorola Droid X right here, and you can see it's a little bit smaller. At least the screen's a little bit smaller than the Motorola Droid X, the whole device itself. But you can see that they're they're both pretty big. And another device would be the Samsung Focus. You can see that this has a 9-inch screen. The Droid Incredible has a 9, or the Droid X has a 4.3-inch screen, 4-inch, and then 3.8-inch on the MyTouch 4G. And you can see how they all stack up by comparison. You can see that they're both all very nice devices, but you can see how the Galaxy Tab is just a little bit bigger. So real quick, let me see if I can get these over. Put this one over. Be really gentle with these devices. Okay. And flip this one over. Okay. And actually this. Here you can see the backs of all 4 devices. This is the MyTouch 4G, the Verizon Samsung Galaxy Tab, the Motorola Droid X from Verizon Wireless, and the Samsung Focus, which is a Windows phone, and that's for AT&T. You can see the cameras here. I'm not really going to go over the cameras in that much detail, but you can see that it has a 3 megapixel fixed focus camera with LED flash, and it's a matte plastic on the back of it, so it's has these little bumps. I don't know if you can see it. You can sort of see it in the light. So it's kind of a rubber, or it doesn't feel like real hard plastic, but it has a unique texture to it, to say the least. And it's not soft touch like you'd see on the Droid X. Below, you'll be able to notice the speaker grill right here, and one more is right there, and you'll see a Samsung proprietary connector. Do not believe that's the same one that you have for the Apple iDevices, because I couldn't get my iPod Touch to correctly fit inside the slot. Real quick, on the side, you can see the micro SD card. It comes with a 16 gig because this is the 16 gig version. There's also a volume rocker. 1 minute, let's just pick this up real quick. You can see that there's a volume rocker and a power button. You can see what I said was on the bottom. Speaker grill are the 2 things on the far left and far right, and the 30-pin connector, and then you can see a microphone. Also on the top of the device, you can see a 3mm headphone jack, and I'm sorry, 3.5mm headphone jack. and you can see a lock screen. One thing I forgot to go over on the front is a piece of Gorilla Glass. That's the same thing that Verizon uses on the Motorola Droid X to make up the screen, so you can see and it doesn't detract from the clarity or anything like that. Real quick, I'll just show you how both screens look on the Droid X and the iPad or the Galaxy Tab when they're both turned on. See that they're both very clear, even with the Gorilla Glass that are on both of them. I have my MyTouch here that I can pull out for comparison, and this does not have Gorilla Glass on it. It's just a standard piece of glass, and you can see that there's really barely any difference, if any, that you can see between the two. And my MyTouch is trying to rotate, but you guys can basically figure out that there's not that big of a deal with the difference between Gorilla Glass and normal glass.
Love it.
You can also see that you can change the display brightness, saturation, and a lot of other stuff that you can't do with the regular device. You can also change the saturation. I haven't changed any of that stuff from out of the box, so what you're seeing is what you'll get if you buy it natively. And there are also TV out settings, which you can use the 3.5mm headphone jack or the dock connector to get the video out onto TV. You can also see the camera, so I'll launch the camera application. Make sure it's not on the front-facing camera, and it's on the rear-facing camera. So this is basically just to show you guys the camera interface. You can see the camera interface is pretty nice. You have this button, which will turn you into self-shot mode, and then that'll basically show whatever it can see in this front-facing camera. So you can see that there's a ceiling right there. And we'll switch back to the rear-facing camera. So now you can see that there's a scene mode, flash mode, exposure, and then you get more settings in here. You can switch to video or record to VGA video at 30 frames per second. And like I said, 3 megapixel stills on the back camera. And they're fixed focus, and 1.3 megapixel on the front camera. One thing that you guys might know about the Samsung Galaxy Tab is that a lot of applications don't run natively in their full screen, but by doing a simple thing, which would be going and downloading the spare parts application from the Android market, and then going into compatibility mode, it'll be checked like this. All you have to do is simply uncheck it, and applications will start to be able to run in full screen. So, trying to think of an application that wouldn't be running in full screen natively. Swap through. Here, the weather channel normally doesn't run in full screen, and you can see here it is running in full screen. It's about to play back the video, so we don't want that. And you can see it's running in full screen. On the home screen, you can do a pinch gesture like on HTC Sense to zoom out to all the other home panels, which is a very nice feature. And also you can get to options like your brightness just by swiping along the top bar of the notifications panel. Here, the media player application is pretty nice, pretty standard. We'll just go into Thank Me Later, and we'll play Fancy. We already had that playing, so we'll play it now. We'll press play. That the speakers are very loud on the device themselves. You can go into Google Earth, and you can check that real quick. We have about a minute, not even a minute, we have about half a minute worth of video left. So remember, check out my website, tech.1.com, and youtube.com/smp, and we'll continue this in a part 2. So talk to you guys. Hopefully you guys will watch the part 2 video.